Hey everybody, welcome back, comic book collectors, fellow comic book aficionados. Here we have a section of Spec. However, it's kind of like a reversal. It's an anti-Spec, if you will. Now, from time to time, I'll do an underrated key video where I talk about key comics that you might be interested in if you're a key comic collector that don't sell for a whole heck of a lot, and they're probably not going anywhere anyways. You know, underrated keys, if you will. These are books that there is spec on, but there's been spec on them forever. I mean, 10, 20 years. I've been hearing people, and I'm not kidding, there's this one book in here, I've been hearing it for 2 decades. Oh, this is the next hot book! And it's not going anywhere. And I'm doing this just to make the point of just being careful with that. There's a lot of channels and a lot of dealers at shows that try to push certain titles. Oh, this is the next hot book, so-and-so is going to appear in a movie, blah, blah. If you haven't figured it out by now, it's like a roller coaster with that stuff. It'll go up because of a sudden jump of interest, because of hype about a movie or TV show speculation, and then it typically dips back down to wherever it started. Unless it goes over really badly, and then it goes below where it was because people are so frustrated and people want to dump the book after they bought it. We've seen this recently with She-Hulk. The spectacular She-Hulk and or Savage She-Hulk, I'm sorry, and the sensational She-Hulk titles have both taken a major dip. I think they're below where they started now. But these are 10 titles, and there are more. But these are just 10 titles that I've been hearing spec on for a long time and have gone nowhere. First up, we have Amazing Spider-Man 365. 365, which of course is the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Been hearing about this one for 10 years at least. Oh, this is the next big hot title. Oh my god. And there's nothing wrong with having any of these. You see, I've got them because I've got every one of these books I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with that. And this one in particular can be tough to find in a high grade because of the holofoil cover and the black finish and everything. It's tough to get a 9.8 in this book. But that doesn't mean that this is going to jump off. We've already seen announcements for it. It's still not pushing this book for Spider-Man 2099. They made a lot of these. Again, it is tough to find in a high grade, but there are a lot of these out there, as well as Spider-Man 2099 #1, which is tied in with this title. I've been hearing spec on this for a decade. It really hasn't moved that much. And probably not going to. Another one. Omega Men #3. First appearance of Lobo. Drastically different looking Lobo in this series than the one that you've all become accustomed to. Lobo's a popular character. DC never gets him right when he's portrayed. But there's a lot of spec on this book. This one's tough to find in a high grade because they didn't make too many. I think this is kind of a low print. And now they're talking about bringing Lobo into the new DC, and Jason Momoa, they're talking about casting him as Lobo. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. The book will fly for a little while and then drop back down. But again, I've been hearing spec on this for at least 10 years. On and on and on. Here's, oh yeah. Dark Hawk #1. At least 20 years I've been listening to spec on this one. This is probably the longest one on the list. Dark Hawk #1. Oh my god, that's a popular title. A lot of people looking for that one. I get to hear it every time you pull one out at a show. I've heard it on videos. Oh yeah, Darkhawk, and Marvel's about to do this and that with Darkhawk, and okay, maybe not. There's a lot of these out there. The price doesn't really move, And again, if they did actually do something with Darkhawk, it'll go up and then come back down again. I've been hearing Spec on that forever. Micronauts. Micronauts #1, which is surprisingly, again, difficult to find, and it's from the 70s. Difficult to find in a high grade, but they're out there. There's a lot of Micronauts titles out there. Oh, especially, with the Quantum Verse and all of that, and Ant-Man, and they're going to bring the Micronauts back, and Mego's going to make Micronauts toys again, and on and on. I've been hearing it for over 10 years. The book's not going anywhere, okay? And again, it'd be a roller coaster ride if it did. Up and down, up and down. Lots of Spec, no movement. This is a big one. X-Men #4, second series, first appearance of Omega Red. Nice book to have. Tough one sometimes because of the solid red, so it can pick up ticks pretty easily. But this is this actually could be an underrated key book. Even if he does come as a villain, villains don't hold their ground most of the time. When they bring them into the spotlight, they kind of fade away after a while. This is a title that would go up and down, and this is a lot, actually. And it's a 90s title, an early 90s title, back in the heyday of mass production. So there's a lot of these out there. This is one I hear a lot about. And you may end up paying a bit for this book too. And that is, of course, 2001: A Space Odyssey #8, first appearance of the Machine Man. I've been hearing Spec on this book forever. They're going to jump off on Machine Man. Something's going to happen with Machine Man. Where do these rumors come from? I wonder about that. Where do these rumors come from? But, again, probably a low print run. Tough to find in a high grade. Sort of an underrated key. If you've got it, it's nice to have. But is this going to be your next $5,000 book? I seriously doubt it. If they even do anything with Machine Man, and if they did, they'd probably screw it up. Here we go. Man Called Nova, #1. Again, probably 10-15 years of Spec on this book. Marvel's going to do something. Sure they are. And now it looks like they might, because I've seen Nova's icon shown with the new lineup of whatever wave is coming from Marvel and Disney. So it's on there. Does that mean that this book's going to jump off? I don't know. But is it really worth specking so hard on it? But again, I've been hearing it forever. Now it looks like they may actually do something with it. So they're really going to be pushing this one. And I think a lot of the times, a lot of this Spec comes from people who have like 1 million copies of the book and they want to move them. Like Damian Wayne. This is now all of a sudden, they're going to bring Damian Wayne in, and you've got these guys coming forward. They got 100 copies of him because there's going to be hype about it. Captain America 354, first appearance of the U.S. agent. It's a U.S. agent, right? I think it's a U.S. agent. Anyways. This is another one that's been Spec on it forever. And then they brought him in, actually, to, the Falcon show? Which I didn't see it, but I think he was on Falcon, wasn't he? This book did not move. This book did not move, and they're still talking about it. They're still pushing this book. And we're almost through it. We got 2 more here for you. I'll hold that one. Superman #4. First appearance of Bloodsport. This is another one they've been beating for like 10-15 years. Pounding their drum on. And there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of these out there. It's an interesting story. I'll give him that. But does it deserve the kind of Spec that it gets? And again, a villain. If he does show up, if he does turn up in DC, is that really going to hold its value after the hype? Not likely. And then the number 1 here, or number 10, number 1, whichever direction we're going in. It's no particular order, folks. Spawn number 9, first appearance of Angela. Or Angela. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. What did they make, like 2.5 million copies of this? Is it really going to jump off? Are they really going to do anything with this character? I've been hearing that one for about as long as Darkhawk. Is this character really going anywhere? And if so, would that really press the value of this book? And for how long? And so what? Honestly. And again, there's nothing wrong with having any of these titles, having any of these books. But as far as investing in them, treating this like it's the stock market, I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake to do with any books, even ones that really are, as they call them, blue chip keys. And if you're watching a channel that is telling you the next hot book that you need to buy and invest in, I would seriously consider whether or not it's worth it to continue to watch them. Do you really want some investor telling you what books to buy rather than just enjoying the titles? And of course, I'm a hobbyist at heart, so I don't want to hear about books that I need to buy because it's the next hot title. I mean, seriously. I mean, any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on this list? Do you have other recommendations? Because like I said, you could go on and on with this. I could probably do a couple more top 10s on this subject, but just trying to drive the point. Is it really worth it? Again, I've been hearing spec on these forever, so every time there's spec on a book, you don't have to chase after it. I would wait till the hype dies down if you're even interested in that title. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of this. I hope you did. There's a lesson in here somewhere. Share it if you can, subscribe if you're new, all that good stuff. And if that's it, then what more can I say but thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.